Hey, what's up, everybody? BDL44 coming at you with another video. All right, so it turns out Kwahi has a torn MCL. So he's not faking the injury. Not that anybody thought he was faking the injury here, but it's one of those situations where we do have clarity. This is not something that is independent of physical injuries. Of course, we had talked about some off the court stuff that had happened with Kwahi that may have prompted him to want to not play, but that did not play into this. It's just unfortunate, man. I have a split mind about this. One side of me, Laker fan, Clipper energy, don't like none of that. The whole Kawhi thing and how he did the Lakers, I have a real problem with that. However, on the other side of this, you find yourself frustrated at the fact that this is one of the best players in the world and you just can't see him play very often because of injuries. Just like every other person this has been the case with. It's no different. You just hate to see it. This is a very, very elite talent, and we've been robbed of his best playoff moments because of injuries. And it always brings me back to my little philosophy and theory about using everybody all the time, whether they can play very well or not, for the sake of keeping people healthy. I think that's relevant to this conversation. But also, you just got to speak to the specifics of a person's body. Some people just have degenerative knees. Some people just have, bodies that don't allow them to do what it is that they would otherwise be able to do if their body would be nice to them. And I think Kawhi Leonard just might be a telltale case of that. It sucks that it's easy to jump on his case about his availability. The environment from which the media has allowed for that to be the case is just in place. His personality is that of somebody who doesn't communicate as much with everybody, so others will communicate on his behalf, and it makes for some of the things that you may believe or not believe about an athlete. In this case, I believe is the case with Kawhi, and it's just unfortunate. It's unfortunate that he hasn't been able to kind of connect with the fans so that we understand what's true versus just the load management secretive narrative that is in place for us to believe and understand. Steve Ballmer is one of the most rich human beings on the planet. If he thought something that Kawhi was doing wasn't on the up and up, I'm pretty sure Kawhi would be away from the team. So I think that's what needs to be understood at all times. Ballmer's not a fool. He's not somebody who's going to be allowing people to step on him in his businesses. Obviously, you know what I mean? So when you look at these narratives, it's important to do some independent thinking as well. It's like, do you think somebody who's worth as much as Ballmer is going to allow somebody to play with him like it appears Kawhi is toying with him? No, I don't think he would. So it's obviously more going on than what we see. But I do wish the best for Kawhi Leonard in his career. I want to see him on the court again, just like I want to see Victor Oladipo on the court again. But the reality is, I don't know that I will. As I told you guys, I think Kawhi Leonard is probably going to retire. I thought he was going to retire last year, but no indications and no news has been given that is in his thoughts. So this is me just speculating, but I just don't know how much more he has of this. He's already sitting so very much that he's not able to play in some of the best games there is. And just like someone else said, load management isn't working. If the idea is to try to make it so that he's healthy in these moments, he's not healthy. And so that's what it really comes down to. I never thought load management was the best conditioning of the mind for a basketball player, an athlete who grew up playing basketball every day, all day. You know what I mean? If you grow up doing something 8 hours a day, and then when you get to the professional ranks, they tell you can't do 45 minutes, and you start believing that, heck yeah, your mind is going to condition yourself to believe that. But the reality is, you grew up playing basketball all day on hardwood, on hard top. Like, your legs should definitely be able to do 45 minutes at the highest conditioning level. But that's just not the reality sometimes for guys, and that's just what it is. But if you don't give them the repetition, if you let them think that their body absolutely cannot do it, then you best believe the mind is going to follow. The body's going to follow the mind in that way, and they know they're not going to be able to. And so I just don't think load management really works. I think the idea makes sense, but I don't. I think it sets the pattern for the wrong thing. So either way, that's where we're at, man. Kawhi Leonard's dealing with yet another torn MCL, and I don't know about what comes with that. I didn't read anything that said surgery would be necessary. In a lot of cases, it is in this situation. So it's okay to assume that maybe he'll have to go under the knife, but I didn't hear that. So that's what I'll say. But we already talked about what I think the Clippers should do. They ain't changed. They gotta blow it up. They're out in the first round again over the cap with 2 stars, not 1, but 2 that are out, and a bunch of old guys surround them. It never made any sense for them to go old like they did. And I just think the best thing for the Clippers to do is stop being stubborn and kablamo. Literally blow that thing up. Put yourself in a position to get the young talent that you've allowed to skip past you over the last several years. It's the only reason why you're as relevant as you are is that you struck it rich in the draft and were able to scam the Lakers out of Chris Paul. That's the only reason why you're even where you're at. So it's like, reset your timeline, start the process of making yourself who you want to be, bring yourself all new fresh face Clippers, and go forward into the future, because that is ultimately what makes the most sense to me, rather than to continue to kick the can down the road with a team that can't even get out of the first round, whose best players can't even get through 50 games. So that's really what it comes down to. Reset the timeline entirely is my suggestion to the Clippers, because nothing else really actually makes any sense. You're just sitting in denial any other way, to be honest. That thing is it's run its course. I mean, of course it's run its course at this point. So that's what I got to say, man. This ain't much of a longer video than that. Prayers out to Kwahi Leonard, get healthy, get on his feet. You know what I mean? Find a way forward to continue his career, because he is that great of a player that I still think if he, even at 30 games, you want to see him play those 30 games. Even if he's only going to offer you 50 games, some GM is going to want him there for them 50 games. So I don't think we've seen the last Kwahi Leonard necessarily, unless he chooses to retire. I think he'll still be able to get a job, no problem. So that's really what it comes down to. He's just going to have to heal up and then choose his choice. Choose if he wants to continue to fight this battle and come back. So that's really what it comes down to. Kwahi Leonard is, like I said, one of the best players in the world. So if we do see him again, it'll be at a very, very high level, no matter what. I'm pretty damn certain of that. So that's pretty much what I got to say, man. BDF 44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.